A very good day to everyone who has joined with us today. Today we are going to together learn upon an important topic called resources. This lesson we are going to learn meaning of resources, types of resources, classification of resources, and conservation of resources. Shall we look a little more into each of these points? To begin with, meaning of resources. So what is the meaning of resource? A resource is something that people use to meet their needs. The needs of human beings are ever changing. According to the ever changing needs, resources also keep changing. So what is it that determines whether something is a resource or not? It is time and technology. Time and technology are two important factors that determine whether a substance is a resource or not. For example, sun's energy. The sun is available to man from time beginning. But man did not know how to use sun's energy. But now he knows, and of course, he is using it to his best. Next, we are learning about the types of resources. There are three types. One is natural, man-made resource, and human resource. So we shall look a little more into each of these resources. First, what is a natural resource? All resources that have been directly provided by nature are called as natural resources. Example, air, water, soil, minerals, natural vegetation, and wildlife. Now, under what basis do we classify these resources? We can classify these resources on the basis of origin, development, exhaustibility, distribution, and ownership. If you look a little bit more into each of these points, we understand it better. If resources on the basis of origin, we can classify it into abiotic and biotic. Abiotic resources are those that are non-living. Example, soil, rocks, minerals, etc. And biotic resources are those that are living. Example, plants, animals, etc. Based on exhaustibility, we can classify resources into renewable and non-renewable. Renewable resources are those which get renewed quickly. Example, sunlight, air. And non-renewable resources are those which are limited and are not renewed quickly. Example, coal and petroleum. Based on development and use, resources can be classified into actual and potential. Actual resources are those that are being used presently and the quantity available is known. Example, coal. Potential resources are those which have not been found presently or those which have been found, but it's not available or it's not being widely used at present. But maybe it could be used widely in the future. For example, marine yeast. Based on distribution, resources can be classified into localized and universal. Under localized, we have resources which are present only in specific regions. Example, minerals. Under universal, we have resources which are present everywhere throughout the world. Example, sunlight. Based on ownership, we can classify resources into individual, community owned, National and international. Individual resources are those which are privately owned by individuals. Example, the apartments. Community owned resources are those resources which are utilized by all the members of the community. Example, public parks. National resources are those resources within the political boundaries of a nation. Example, tropical forest region. And international resources are those which are found in the open sea. Example, ambergris. Next, we go look into man-made resources. When humans use natural things to make something new that provides utility and value to our lives, it is called human-made resource. Example, when we use metals, wood, cement, sand and solar energy to make buildings, machineries, vehicles, bridges, roads, etc., they become man-made resource. What is human resource? Human resource is a set of the people who make up the workforce of an organization, business sector, industry, or economy. Though human beings are basically natural resource, we classify human beings separately. Health, education, knowledge, and skill have made them a valuable resource. Example, doctors, teachers, etc. Conservation of resources. What is conservation? Careful use of resource is called conservation of resources. Why should we conserve these resources? Many resources are scarce and they take millions of years to develop. Overexploitation of resources may exhaust them. Man, in his greed, sometimes use resources more than his need. And if we continue it this way, then we may not be able to pass on these resources to the future generations. So, it's better we use all our resources judiciously. So, what are some of the ways of conservation of these resources? The reasons of depletion have to be identified. Wastage and excess consumption have to be prevented. Reusable resources have to be recycled. Pollution has to be prevented. Environment has to be protected. Natural vegetation and wildlife have to be preserved. And alternative resources have to be used. Aren't there any easy way of conserving? Yes. Easiest way to conserve resources is to follow the 3 R's: reduce, reuse, and recycle. Hope you have understood the lesson. Thank you for being with us and hope to meet you once again with another interesting topic. Goodbye.